My camera? Oh, there it is. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another stream. Welcome, welcome. Today we have something cool and new in the works. Microphone annoys me, I'm gonna be honest. I'm always moving it around. Hi, everybody. Hi, Sean. How you doing today? So how do you want to do this, Sean? Like I'm gonna crit this more and like kind of sculpt on it. Do you want to, for example, share your link so people can go follow you and things like that? Hey, Odon, how's it going with you? All's good here. Just trying to get my microphone to not be annoying to me. Can you guys hear me okay? Or is it just farther away now? Oh, God. But I'm really just down for a nice chill day here with Sean the Squatch's Frankenstein sculpt. They've been working on for a while. Hi, Midnight. Frogs like me. Sumatobehi. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Let everybody file in little by little. Try to get my camera angle a little bit better. You guys have no idea the struggle that I've had like all day today with my camera situation. You like don't even know the half of it. One bad move and it's all downhill. Like this is not right. You know, Sparkles is giving you guys a show and you can't even see it properly, but honestly, everything's by a thread in this house right now. Kind of like that. And get my still crooked. Oh Lord. My website is under construction, but you guys can find me on IG SS3D Designs. Nice. Nice, nice. So I'm working on a special project. This one is almost done. I've been working on it for like officially a month, but I started a little earlier. And the deadline is on Friday. Okay, I'm not gonna give you guys too many informations, but I just finished recording the last recordings for this project today. It is super underway. Some of my mentees may or may not already know a little bit of the what the project is because I may or may not have blabbed. But I'm so excited, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Can't wait. Am I in the right place? Missing some stuff. Check on the stream. Stream's okay. Dead or alive. Okay. Let's get into it. I'm gonna start off slow. Yeah. And I need like a little bit of a transition moment because I was literally recording until 3 minutes ago. You know, completely dead inside. There's a hurricane coming. You guys heard of Hurricane Ian? That's coming. So this is gonna be my second ever Florida hurricane. The first one was when I was a child and I came here with my family to go to Disney World. And halfway through there was a big hurricane, so we had to shelter in like this little house that some family friends had rented. So this is my second one, and I gotta be honest, I'm a little underprepared. So I bought non-perishables, canned food, you know, a lot of little things like that, where you have a couple of Oh, thank you so much, Sholu. Thank you so much for the follow. But I don't have anything for the windows, and I don't have yeah, a lot of stuff. I don't miss dealing with those. I don't disagree necessarily. So we'll see how it goes. I might get out of town, maybe. Still looking into all the options and things like that. Let's get started. So I'm probably not gonna walk through every single thing that I do like verbally necessarily, but I'll do some mentions here and there. Should probably be okay. They weren't too bad when I was there. Hopefully. It's starting to move a little like the prediction is starting to go a little bit north. So we'll see. We shall see what's gonna happen as far as this hurricane is concerned. Okay. So a lot of the things I'm gonna do today, we already went over in the meeting. I'm gonna start off by kind of looking through the layers that we have here. This one's the eyelid. Then let's keep that. This one's the detail pass on the pores. I think I'm gonna not keep that for now, so we can add in our own. This is the kind of general surface noise. It does work for me. For base, I don't really see much difference with or without it. Okay, so we got kind of a cleaner base here. I think I'm gonna start by kind of going through this little crease here that we noticed when we had our meeting, and I'm gonna get rid of it. Gonna definitely shape up the ears a little bit more. Maybe soften some of these lines that you have going on here. Maybe clean up the forehead just a little bit. Maybe we can improve the organic nature of the scar. Let's see. So add a layer. Call this honest layer. 1. Streamed a million times. Feels like it. If you count all the times I started and stopped back when I was starting, and the stream used to crash because I used this like really crappy laptop. Skyhawk46, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. So I'm gonna get started with that lip crease here. I think all I need to do really is smooth it out. Let's find out. Kind of like a little by little, you know. Can't trust everything you read on Twitter. It's kind of softening the line a little. I don't trust anything I read on Twitter. There's some useful stuff on Twitter. Like the other day I saw a thread on how to improve your memorization of things. I thought that was pretty nice. It definitely resonated with me. I definitely thought that I could do it, you know? That's what matters. Believe in it. So there's that. There's been a lot of fun, or not necessarily fun, but a lot of drama on Twitter, on Game Dev Twitter this week. Who's seen that? I have a good portfolio day on Twitter. That's all I like about it. Well, Twitter is like good because you can have these big conversations with industry people and get to know each other a little bit better, make enemies, get blacklisted. Sculpt Kid, oh yeah, that don't pay to play thing. Oh, Donna says, no, I haven't been paying attention to what's going on. Zach Ashton, hey, make enemies. So I softened up that line a little bit. I think it's a little straight now, so I'm going to just kind of curve it a little bit more. Maybe like put it back in, but more smoothly. I actually made some brushes this week that I want to try. I made a couple of stylized brushes for my workshop. And I'm thinking about giving them away for free soon, so stay tuned for that, maybe. No promises anyway. But yeah, I've been dying to try these. They've been working pretty well for stylized stuff. Now gotta find out like if it works for everything. I saw something about a person condemning the price of mentorships, which is just wild. Just what? What does that mean? No, yeah, that's just part of it. So just this week we've had that discussion. We had some, what was the studio? I don't remember which studio it was, but like condemn the gamers for their treatment of developers, because like developers get harassed on the internet a lot whenever gamers like disagree with a random like choice in game development. And we also had, right now there's an ongoing discussion about what is too harsh of a critique, you know. So okay, so that's down. So what else did I say I was gonna do? I said I was gonna do the ears. Let's do that next. Bungie, was it Bungie? I don't think it was Bungie. You guys know what it was? Super Catfish AI. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Trying to find some ear ref. Let me push this guy back in here. Ear reference for Frankenstein. It's not a bad ear. Let's kind of do something like this. Respawn with whoever does Apex. So, there's been a lot of good discussions, right? And the mentorship one obviously hits closest to home for me. Well, actually the critique one as well. Because like I've both been on the giving side of critiques and the receiving side. And I've definitely suffered to some degree on the receiving side, right? I always tell, I'm sure at least some of you guys who have been here have heard of that story I always tell about my first big NASA critique when I was interning with NASA. I'm gonna inflate here. You see how there's like loss of volume? I'm just gonna inflate it a little bit. And also there was like a little bit of overlapping, so I'm just going to smooth the inside to kind of create some space. Nand Zimmer, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. The mentorship one came from a good place, but completely ignored that many people doing mentorships because they need to pay their bills too. Well, actually, like, somebody had a fantastic point, which was like, as far as we could see, the person who started that whole thing doesn't even do any. Well, they who knows? I don't know how they spend their time. Like, they might be mentoring the worlds for free, but as far as we know, they don't necessarily even do tutorials or share their knowledge at all, you know? So that's the thing that I found the most ironic. Not necessarily, I'm not calling the one person out because I don't know them, I don't know anything about them. But like, ironically, a lot of people were saying, hey, it's wrong that it costs this much to get help. While simultaneously, to a great majority, not offering the help, you know? The only people who were okay in that discussion were the people who were offering free mentorship, you know? And I salute them, but there's definitely like a little bit of mismanagement of expectations too when it comes to mentorship, because, you know, a service, like a program, is different than sitting with somebody and getting advice. So when I started at my old company, I was much worse at Unreal than I am now. I learned a lot of it on the job, right? Unreal is my primary software of use. And sorry, I know I'm working on this really slow. I'm really into this topic. And I had a mentor. He was this guy who I still consider to be one of my favorite people alive, mind you. Like, my gratitude to him goes a really long way. I consider him to be a very dear friend. You know, we got along in every way. And he mentored me. I think if you asked him, he wouldn't say he mentored me, though. Because what would happen is I would have a difficult problem to fix. And instead of, necessarily sitting with me and going through the solutions, what he would do is he would just give me a little hint. He wouldn't like feed me the answer. He gave me a little hint, like, you should Google this word, or I heard there's a good blog by this one guy, but I don't know where it is, things like that. And he helped me so much, but it wasn't like a program, right? Like, he wasn't like checking in on me every once in a while and sitting with me for hours and working through my problems, right? So there's like that kind of like mentorship that you could get, which is a little different. And honestly, I think it's a lot easier to get that kind of mentorship than you think, than the people in the thread think, right? If you know how to reach out to a professional politely, sure, not everybody's going to help you, right? How can anybody imagine that? All right, I'll never say that. But if you know how to reach out to a professional politely, gently, professionally, and be like, introduce yourself, maybe give them a compliment. Compliments go a long way, guys. Thank you so much, clone artist, for the follow. I appreciate it. You explain your situation. You ask them for feedback, critique, advice, ask them a question. You will be surprised at how much you might get back from that, Maybe, probably won't be everybody. It probably won't be everybody who says yes, right? But it doesn't have to be. Like, these people are busy. They got their own things, right? We don't know what they're doing. Before I started my mentorship, I used to help out all the time people that would like come into my DMs, ask questions. Let me load up the old one. No, do not switch, please. Oh god. Okay. There's literally stuff on top of my screen. That's how out of hand my recording situation has gotten today. Then I'll load up the old ones that I can compare. And so, sorry, I feel like I'm multitasking a little too much. Please, guys, let me know if I need to talk more about the critique itself. But basically, I reshaped the ear a little bit, and I also made sure that there was more space between the elements, and they were a little less clumped together, like so. See a little bit more space in here. There's the before, there's the after. Okay, so I'm just trying to make it a little bit more organic, a little bit more flowy, more just a little bit more anatomy to the ear. So continuing on with my conversation. I used to even do that a lot when I started streaming, 2017 to 2020. Thank you, Dreams. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. And I will tell you something, like a little bit of the other side of the coin as well. Like, people would ask for a portfolio review on Instagram or something, right? And I would agree politely. I would do it, and then they wouldn't say thank you. They would just disappear. Or they would use it as an excuse to hit on me. Or they just didn't ask politely enough. And mind you, like, I have a very high standards of how people that I'm not personal friends with maybe yet talk to me, and you'd be surprised how many people to this day reached out to me on my Instagram or Twitter or Discord, and they're like, I need a portfolio review, and then send a link. And I'm like, what do you think this is? Like a portfolio review ATM? Like, I'm not a robot, you know. Be polite. Ask, how you doing? I saw your art here and there. I enjoy what you do. I trust you as a professional. Whatever, It's kind of crazy, and if you can just reach out to people politely, nicely, it'll make a world of difference if you've ever had a problem with getting critiques. And mind you, again, it's not everybody. Another thing that happens that can hurt your chances is if the person is too busy or they don't respond to you right away and you start following up too much and you get ruder every time you follow up. Guys, like, you'd see people like, hey, can I get a portfolio critique? A week goes by. Hey, are you there? A week goes by. Hey, I asked for a portfolio critique. Another week goes by. Well, fuck you. I asked you for a portfolio critique. I'm like, bitch, and I was like, wow, I was just too busy. I was hoping to clear out all my DMs like at some other points, and here we are. Like, okay, now you're blocked. So, how we do these things is very, very important. There are so many places to get free help, of course. Dinky, hey, I'm doing mentorship too. It's the best. Zach Ashton, that's what I have with a few people as well. Like just kind of casually helping. Yeah, honestly, I've not even have gone to university if I'd known about paid mentorship 6 or 7 years ago. Sculpt Kid, I learned Zbrush and won a tablet for free thanks to a really nice person who offers tons of free resources. Thank you. Vega says, how's your hand? So my thumb no longer has a gaping hole in it. I still can't move it too much, or I'm afraid that it's going to open again, For those of you who don't know, I cut my hand on Monday night with a bowl, like a big, thick ceramic bowl that exploded in my hand, and it cut a straight line, like not a straight line, it cut little bits along the area that I was holding the bowl. So I was holding it with my middle finger and here, and it bled a lot. But the problem was the thumb like had a big jagged hole, and whenever I move it, it would like spread out like this, and there's just like a big hole right in the middle. So my sister convinced me to go to the hospital, and get it looked at, and there they glued it back together. And if you guys ever want to hear like some body horror, I'll tell you what happened when a medical student tried to glue my thumb back together. Adon, as a longtime mentee of yours, Anna, I can say I'm extremely grateful for the help and support I've received since you started a mentorship. It's been a long process and it's more than worth the time and effort, especially as a beginner. It also pays for those seeking your help to be respectful to the highest degree. Yeah. Guys, that says so many people lack basic social skills. I don't know, like it's like the internet, like they think that it doesn't matter because it's the internet. I don't know. Miguel, hey, good night, and it's my first time here. Welcome, Miguel. It's good to see you here. Sculpt Kid, imagine being nice to strangers. What a concept. People on the internet, apparently. Honestly, like, I just don't understand the idea of not being nice to strangers that you want to get something from. Like, you want to get something from strangers, right? Why are you treating them like crap? If I really offend Anna, then she's for sure gonna help me with my portfolio. Like I can't think of a better plan. Let's start by calling her Anna with 2 N's. Oh my god, guys. Like, I know it shouldn't be a pet peeve because people spell your name wrong. However, when people message me on social media and my username says how my name is spelled on it, and people are still like, hey Anna with 2 N's, and I'm like, god damn it. So I'm looking for an assistant, of course. For those of you who are interested, actually, let me put the link in here. Why not, right? Might as well spread the word, I guess. But I've gotten applications where they spelled my name wrong, even though one of the requirements is attention to detail. I don't know. Is it just me? Is it me being too much? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. It might be too much, but I don't know. I try. You know, sometimes I say people's name wrong too, so I don't know. I'm not doing a Frankenstein piece. This is my mentee's piece. Let's make that clear. Maybe I'll add a little bit of text as a disclaimer. Text. Add new source. Add that source. Let's go ahead and set that up real fast. So, Frankenstein. Man, that's good lag. Sculpt. By Shauna, I'll just use your handle from the beginning. Let's see. Can't really see it. Oh, there, outline. Huge compliment that people think it's yours. By the way, the slide you have is working good. Yay! Which one? The back one or the front one? Or both? Because I had to I was doing some big recordings today, so I was changing everything up. Like literally when I say everything is holding on by a thread, the equilibrium is sensitive today. As far as like if I sneeze, my camera is gonna fall, the lights are gonna turn off, like Sean says it's the entitlement factor. I feel that so much. No hate to other guys who spell it Sean or Sean, but Sean is how I spell it. But the thing is, right? It's right there in your username. It says how to spell it. But here's the thing: like if you're applying for a job, you know, just try your best. You know, make a little effort. I used to have this friend who ran a studio called Dark Shot Studios, and sometimes people would apply for jobs and they'd be like, "Dear Dark Shit." That happened. He showed me the screenshots. Zach Ashton, if I had the money, I would pay for those mentorships, but also completely understand people charging, so I find their tutorials and utilize those. Sculpt Kid says, my name is Carl, and I'm constantly called Carol, and my wife's name is Ashley. So can you imagine how often she deals with misspelling? The job generalist assistant is related to video editing things or assistant in general. I'm video editor for some YouTubers. So, oh, I lost them. So it's supposed to be an assistant. And if the assistant can also help me with content creation, video editing and things like that, that would be a huge plus. Okay. So, you know, it would be like, you know, sending emails, checking the calendar, updating spreadsheets, doing those kinds of tasks mixed in with, you know, a little bit of helping me with content creation, helping me with my everything. What are you guys laughing at? I'm so behind in chat that I missed whatever the funny thing was. Just missed it altogether. So there's the ear a little bit. Like, I hope that helps a little. So I just kind of like reworked the shape a little, simplified. Sometimes simplicity is key, you know? See that? Um, so as you guys know, I'm in a talky mood today. As you guys know, I'm writing an entire book, right? A freaking book on getting ahead in your people the studio. Okay, thanks. um about how to get further in your career faster, basically, like, and there's an entire chapter on networking. Okay. And what my approach to networking is that I used to do this super wrong. Okay. I learned about networking in college. I was around 19 when I first started trying to network. And the way the teachers made it seem was that you would politely introduce yourself to somebody, look them right in the eye, shake their hand firmly, talk about yourself, and if they happen to work at a studio that you want to work at, then you ask them to either to do something for you, basically. To look at your portfolio, to get you an interview, to get a foot in the door, whatever, right? Who here has heard that kind of like concept for networking? I know it's not uncommon because I still see it happen. Does the sculpting membership include the database access? Yes. You get to access my all of the workshops I've done and things like that. I have. Yeah, it's not fair. You went to school with me. They told us the opposite at school. Well, you went to a better school than I did. Okay. I teach my students at the same school you went to that that's not how you mess around. It's just not, right? So in my book, I detail like my own philosophy for actual networking, which is being a giver, not a taker, right? It's better because you worked there. I wasn't even there when you were there, but so it's all about being a giver, not a taker. So you've encountered a networking opportunity. Instead of going straight for like how do I say like what can you do for me? Instead, what can you do for them, right? Can you give them a compliment on the lower end of the spectrum, right? Be nice, give them a compliment, pull out their chair. I don't know. Or on the other end of the spectrum, like, can you like maybe offer the job or the inn or something like that? If you go around and you build a impressive network on Discord, Twitch, the internet, Twitter, conventions, None of This Life 89, and you're always providing the people that you meet with value, you are treating them well, you are giving of yourself to them, and sometimes all it takes is a little bit of like listening to them, you know, or just giving them a hand, you know, then you don't ask for anything in return. When you do need something, you won't even have to ask. And that's like the beauty of it. Like, if you make meaningful connections with people, if you treat them well, they will jump at the opportunity to help you out. You know? Not all of them. Some people want to see you burn, and that's okay. Probably don't want those in your life anyway. But yeah, that's my lens. Cristiano, tudo bem? Bem-vindo. But yeah, it's like it's a really tough thing, you know, like just be nice to people. Introduce yourself. I swear, I try to answer my DMs, but lately the quality of the DMs I've been receiving has just been terrible. Terrible, terrible. Most people that I sent me DMs is like a horrible thing, you know? Like, you look at my DMs, it all says hello. That's it. Some people will just send me hello and expect me to respond, right? While hello is not an offensive message, like, I still don't know the person, you know? Say, hello, my name is. I'm reaching out because. How are you? You know? Like, I can't continue a conversation off of hello. Oh yeah, and if there's NFTs anywhere in your message, I'm never gonna respond. My DMs are like a elephant cemetery for NFT guys asking me for 3D models. I don't know. I like it when people are nice. I like when people are nice and soft, you know. Like, I also don't necessarily appreciate it if you like complete like business talk me into the ground. Like, it's almost like negging sometimes, you know. Like, I was asking on Twitter who wanted to help me host my podcast, which, by the way, oh my god, guys, I'm starting a podcast. We have no date, no name, and no details, but it's going to be a awesome fucking thing. So, you know, stay tuned. I'll talk about the podcast in a little bit. Sorry, I feel like, Sean, I'm just here like blabbing with your model open. We'll get to a little other part of it in a second. And I asked like who wants to help me host, and somebody rolls into my DMs and they're like, I have also been thinking about starting a podcast. Set up a call with me on this link. That's it. You know? And I'm here like, that is very normal way to email your coworker or like a business partner or something that already knows you, maybe businessy. Oh, hold on. And I was like, that was a little pushy and a little bit too uptight for me, you know. So I didn't respond either. I feel bad. I guess my DMs is where dreams go to die sometimes, but not all dreams. Gonna deepen the ear cavity right here. Kind of like, I think we could definitely get that crisscross right here. Let's see the original images of this guy. Yeah. So this shape here, it's part of the helix. This is what this is called. It actually comes in, and this little, I forgot what this is called. Nub. It kind of lays underneath that. Kind of how he had it here, actually. So at some point, the ear was crisscrossing correctly. The tragus. Thank you so much for labeling that for me. I appreciate it. So, where was the other ear? Go ahead and fix that up. It's gonna be a little tough, right? It's like it's an area with like a lot of definition here, so I'm just gonna start by kind of flattening out the transition point. Maybe go to a lower subdivision, of course. Marcus Sidonio, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. My hypothesis is that pandemic broke people's brains with a bit of the talking good. And this is from before the pandemic, to be honest. But like, you know, not long ago, I was the one doing that. Like, I will 100% humble myself any day and admit that at one point I was not flawless. Okay, like I was that beginner bothering people, you know, asking for things. Guys, let's say that me and many other Brazilian 3D artists, right, especially character artists, very much enjoy, idolize, and look up to a specific character art guy who's been around for a long time, who is kind of like the master, right? Like in Brazil, we still have that concept of like a master a lot, okay? So, one day I'm at GDC. I'm like 19 years old, 18, 19, okay? And I see this guy walking around with his friends. And I stalked this guy with my friends group, who are all American guys. They were all pretty mean, though. Not all of them, but like, yeah, I didn't care about them so much. I stalked this guy, and he breaks off from his group, and he says, "I gotta go, guys. I gotta go do something." Starts walking away. I immediately like throw myself in his way, and I'm like, I switch to Portuguese. I'm like, this is my chance. Katie Zurkras, thank you so much for the follow or the subscription. Actually, thank you. I throw myself in front of him, and I'm like, "Hey, my name's this, blah 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 blah," and I start just shaking his hand and stuff, and I demand his attention forever, and then eventually get him to agree, get his business card, and get him to agree to send me his, or it gets him to agree to give me a portfolio review, right, via email. Embarrassing. I never sent in the portfolio because I was too embarrassed, to be honest. And to this day, I remember that nowadays, me and this guy get along. We follow each other, we chit chat, we say hi. When we meet places, like we talk, like we're normal people, right? Like I'm no longer in that like notice me senpai vibe that I used to have. And I really hope that he doesn't realize that that person and me are the same people. Sean, I think you told us to label the parts of the ear in the workshop. I did, yes. Cara, posso fazer perguntas em português? Sim, com certeza. So that's the story. I will never tell you guys who the person is, but you can guess. Seti555, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay, so we haven't quite gotten it yet. I'm gonna have a little bit of pinch in the mesh. I'm gonna keep working it little by little. The more smoothing, the better at this point. So yeah, there's a little bit of a pinch right here that might not go away, honestly. So we'll just call it a feature, not a bug. I mean, the ears are the most difficult part of a character. Well, then you're lucky, because like most people don't know what ears look like. You know, it'd be worse if it was like the eyes or something. For me, all right, right that. And how much time did you learn to use Blender and make realistic models? So I don't use Blender. This is Zbrush right here. I think the pinch in the mesh is what wrecked the ear wreck. Well, actually, like, hey, we've been able to make it work, right? Just take his hair off. Eruditor, thank you so much for the subscription. Welcome to the subscription family. The inflate brush helped a lot, yeah. Galforian, hello there, Anna. Just stopped by to say that your hair is looking super nice. Loved seeing it in full length on the Instagram. Shout out for today's stream. Congrats. Thanks. Sweet. This is the kind of thing that people do in hair commercials. Thanks. Work hard. Work hard. My hands look like this. so that my hair can look like this. Quantos trabalhos você acha interessante que temos na portfólio para começar a aplicar em jobs? Eu estudo modelagem para colecionáveis, no caso. Pode responder em inglês se quiser. Eu fiz um vídeo inteiro sobre portfólio, tá no meu YouTube, ok? Caso você queira assistir, eu falo sobre isso e várias outras coisas. Tá em inglês. Eu acho que o mínimo é o 3, mas o melhor mínimo é 5. O ideal é 5 ou mais. O mínimo possível é 3. Se tiver menos que 3, eu nem me aplicaria até ter 3, normalmente. Mas tem todos os detalhezinhos no vídeo, tá? Eu posso botar aqui meu YouTube pra você ver. I want to guess because I think I know who it is, but I want you to find out if I'm right. Try guessing. I mean, this person has enough stuff to do in their life. Like, they're not going to, no, they're not going to watch this stream. Guys, I'm also playing thunder and lightning sounds. Like, I think it's nice. There are a lot of good guys in the Brazilian circle of art, you know. It's a very, very camaraderie heavy place. So I'm gonna you see how, like, I'm just kind of trying to simplify for a little bit. See, now I'm going to take off this connection here. Oh my gosh, it's starting to freeze up. I've gotten too ballsy with my Zbrushing today. When I say everything's holding on by a thread, like, I mean it. Everything is holding on by a little thread. Gotta make sure I'm not messing up the backside. Yes, but master, you know, like, that's a pretty clearly a certain person. I don't know that, actually. There are so many. Let's... Chris Costa. Rafael Grassetti. I think Igor Cato. Andrea Castro. Letícia Gillette. Alex Oliver. The Christ Costa, I know, is not even a 3D modeler. Glauco Longhi. So I'm not agreeing that that's the person. I'm just saying he's one of the guys I forgot to name. I used to, like, sit and dream, like, one day I want to be like these guys. One day will I join the club? You know. You also know what they say, like, it's not necessarily a good thing to idolize anybody. You know? And I was definitely very young when a lot of these things happened. Like, literally in my teens, right? Late teens, early 20s. Okay, I'm not doing a good job here. I'm a little stuck in this ear. Gotta pick up my madre from the airport. Bye bye. Okay, we're slowly building up a little bit more. And connect the correct areas. A little bit of inflate sometimes goes a long way. I'm getting somewhere. Yeah. When I think of the masters, I think of people like Chris Costa and Ian Spriggs, at least as far as human sculpts go, but not just them. There's so many who are at that level or above. Well, yeah, there's like subcategories, right? Plenty of them. Crisscross is good for hyper-realistic portraits. There's a few other people that I really like for hyper-realistic portraits. But I'm also like, I don't know, I'm a little bit pessimistic when it comes to hyper-realistic portraits. Like, this is a completely personal opinion and should have no bearing on anything you do with your life, but kind of think like it's a dying art, you know? Like, everybody's using scans and human generators, meta-humans of the world, you know, AI. It's like the easiest part of character arts to replace, you know, and it's already being replaced so fast. There's creature artists, hard surface environment, etc. When I think of master, I think of illustrators whose work I don't fully understand. Like Frank Frazetta of the world. Okay, I think I've been able to rework the layering of the ear, at least, so that it's like slightly closer to anatomically correct. What do you guys think? How about Michelangelo? I have a tattoo of one of Michelangelo's works. It's my first good tattoo of all time, you know. Yeah, the ear silhouette is a lot stronger. So we weren't able to get that pinch just right, but you know what? The pinch can be solved later when you do the high poly, you know? Or like when the high poly is done. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, and also it's like a corpse ear. We can make it bloated. Bloated. No worries. Let's see. Honestly, like, what does a corpse ear look like? I don't know. For sure. One day I'll give you guys a tattoo tour. Whenever I got my current job as a teacher, my plans were to get a full 2 sleeves and back covered. But I moved here to a small town in Florida, and I got a pretty serious job, you know? And I was worried about the perception aspect. But also, like, it's just really hard to find a good tattoo artist here. When did you get that tattoo? Probably 2018. Yeah, I got a couple. So I need to find a good tattoo artist, you know? Whenever I was getting my finger glued, the lady had a really nice tattoo, but it just wasn't quite good enough, you know? Like, you gotta be really picky with these things. I have a crappy tattoo that I wasn't picky with. You know? We can give it more interesting shape now. So, like, what I recommend is, like, you know, sure, you're doing a creature ear. Okay, so, like, if you're struggling with it, just go for a humanoid ear first. And then after, you know, give it that shape. Because all the elements still should be there, you know, as much as possible. All the parts, you know. I haven't had any tattoos in a... Oh, you're DMing a place for tattoos? Badass. Thank you. Thank you. I also have this one, which is always the first one anybody notices. AM Ruti, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. It's a dagger stabbing the sun. On the back of my arm, I have a snake eating the moon. I just really want to tell all astral bodies in the sky, or astro bodies? I don't know what you're supposed to call them. Celestial bodies, there you go, that they should be afraid. I just want to tell them, like, hey, be afraid. Here, I'll show you guys the last one, because, like, this stream has already gotten away from me. So might as well just embrace. One sec. Let me take off my... Hitting the mic. This is the snake eating the moon here, just because I want the moon to fear me. So it's got some leaves. My mom cried when she saw this one. I'll always remember that. Like, it was a happy little day, and then she noticed my tattoo, and she was like, oh my god, Carol, why don't you stop doing these things to yourself? What's gonna happen when you're old and wrinkled, and your skin is no longer beautiful because of your tattoo? And I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna be old and wrinkled. Like, it's not the tattoo that's gonna make my skin less perfect, you know? I have very different thoughts about aging than my family, so... Seriously, the snake's so cool. Thank you. I have some bad tattoos that I got on bad nights with bad people. But yeah, like, my next tattoos, put feathers in between the wrinkles. Mood. My next tattoo is gonna be hand. So I want to get a picture. I have a mood vision board. So I want these. Ignore the butterfly part. This one. And get some nice hand tattoos. Really, really stick it to my mom. Weirdly, my father is like really chill about it. He's like, Carol, what's your next tattoo gonna be? And then my mom goes, next! Next tattoo? And I go, and he goes, yeah, I don't mind it. Everybody just tells me, Carol, you should just get little dainty feminine tattoos. Please. And I'm like, does the huge snake bother you? I think that's enough on the ear, right? Like, it's already looking a lot stronger. Yeah, that silhouette though. Let's look at that glow up right there. Whenever I'm reviewing my mentee's work, I always load up an old version too, so that we can flip back and forth and kind of really get a very stark contrast of the before and after. You know, it's really useful. Really like points out a lot of differences. I'm thinking getting one tattoo covered up. Yeah, do what makes you happy. That's so cool. Tattoos fit you so damn well with that hair color. I mean, come on. Thanks. When I got my first one, I used to have red hair. It's like a big smoky face on my arm. I kind of want someone to turn it into a Medusa. Nice. I haven't looked at my old file in months. I'm not even sure I have the original sculpt file. Let's see. Zach Ashton says, by the way, this is a really cool sculpt from mentee. Yeah. Okay, now I want to break up the lines around the eyes a little bit. Today I might be able to actually stream a little longer, guys, because classes have been canceled for the week because of the hurricane. Theoretically, I should spend that time getting ready for the hurricane, right? I don't know, man. Hi. Hi, my man. Hi, boy. So I would turn the camera to face Sparkles normally, but oh, you guys can see him pretty well. But yeah, it's all gonna break down if I do. Hey. This dude looks like me. Hi, Red Drink. Are you also in Florida? I am. Isn't hurricane also like a mixed drink? And at your journey, what makes you keep going at those moments, like the hard moments? Oh my god, yeah, he's a happy boy. A little happy little spoiled boy. Here, let's get him on top of the table so you guys can enjoy the purring. So what keeps me going at the bad times? So many things. I have actually had my fair share of dark times. Um, some of it was because of the circumstances of life. Some of it were just my own head messing with me. Okay. So I do a couple of things. First is I have a very clear vision of where I want to go and the things I want to do, what I want to accomplish, who I want to be. That way, when I feel like giving up, I try to remember that. Like, I really try. I try to remember, what I'm even doing any of this for. And sometimes that will be enough to give me the strength I need. Like, for example, when I was working on my portfolio to get my first job, I really was losing my nerve, and I had to remember myself, I need this so that it's my first step. I need this so that I can get to that big career that I want. I want to be respected by my peers. I want to be working on the projects that I want to be working on. I want to be amazing at art, right? You know, and just that sometimes is enough to keep me going. Sometimes I need to take a different approach and take the time off and hope for my best, try my best to make it so that I don't feel guilty for taking time off. Because if you take time off, he's like literally making out with the mic right now. Because if you take time off and you feel guilty about taking time off, then it's not really time off. You're just wasting time, right? Sometimes I have to go the negative route and motivate me by what I can lose more than what I can gain, right? I actually have an entire article written about this in my database, which you can access via Gumroad by joining any of my sculpting workshop tiers or my mentorship. And too cute laying here. You can see him draped on my arm. What can you lose, right, if you're thinking about giving up or just not doing the thing? Right? Like, let's say you have to like finish a work today or what else. I sometimes will remind myself that the competition is working when I'm not, that other people might take what I want. This is more of a negative vibe. It's like more of a scarcity mindset, so to speak. So I don't try not to do this anymore, but it's what kept me going through my early years. You know, there are thousands of ways you can motivate yourself. Last thing I do is I actually do one of the lamest things ever. What I do is I have two Evernote pages that I can look at when I'm down. The first one is called, I'm not going to tell you guys what it's called, it's too embarrassing. But basically, I put screenshots of messages you guys send me, comments, compliments. Anytime anybody says like, Anna, thank you so much for doing what you do, like you helped me out a lot. Like, Anna, I really appreciate everything. Like, I can tell you work hard and I appreciate it. Like things like that. You know, I put those in a little folder. And I just look at those sometimes because like it's really useful to look at that. And it's like the most varied thing, you know. It's the most varied thing. It has compliments, it has opportunities I had, just things I thought were special. Like so like I'll take screenshots like almost every stream of things you guys say, you know? And it's like huge. And then what else do? I also have this other page. That's like, I wrote myself a letter. This one in particular is about streaming, because you guys might not know this, but like actually streaming is very grating on me. Sometimes, you know, like I love doing it, but it really can mess with me, with my energy. If my mindset's not quite right, if I start streaming, like it's very punishing. Okay, it's just how I am. Something I've been working on for years. I even have taken like years off of streaming so that I can get my mindset right around it. Like streaming is hard for me, okay? Sometimes. So I wrote a letter to myself, and it's called Why I Stream. Let's look at that together. Like, since we're here and I'm already bearing out my heart to you, like, uh, so I wrote this. I started writing this about 3 months after I started streaming. And I said, I haven't been feeling my streams or streaming lately. I don't get excited anymore. I lost track of why I even do it. My marketing is worse. My energy sucks. And sometimes I wonder why I even bother. So I'm writing this to try to remember why. It's like Carol's personal diary over here. Like, I talked about what changed after I started streaming. So, streaming increased my reputation, my productivity, and my confidence by so much in such a short time span. I'm now more outspoken, and I have been feeling like I am a more interesting person. I've gained a great amount of followers on Instagram and ArtStation. I get sought out for freelancing and opportunities much more often. Streaming feels like a really good long-term investment. I'm just kind of skipping ahead, you know. What else? Ever since I started streaming, I've become faster and better at what I do. I've learned a ton of new techniques and became more prolific. Now I have more content to post, which helps my growth on other social medias too. Sometimes watchers will give me amazing tips and advice. That makes me so much better. Some of the people I've met from streaming are really cool. My social skills are improving. I can talk more, talk louder, and speak my mind more often. It's something I've been working towards my whole life, and streaming just made it me 300 times better at it. So like, I wrote that, you know, to convince myself that I didn't need to give up, like that streaming had all of these amazing personal benefits, you know, and I made sure to write this when I was feeling good, to like prepare for the days that I was feeling bad. Because if there's like, I'm a lot of things, I'm not stable emotionally, you know. Every single day is a different day, you know, for me, and I've learned to live with it. You know, some days I love what I do, some days I hate it, some days I want to give up and go hide, you know. Some days I want more. And it's even to the point where the guys who work for me, you know, they know. I kind of warn them ahead of time of what my mood is like, so that they know what they can and can't push me on. Like, that's a real thing that happens in my business. Some days I really want all of your enthusiasm. I want to say like, we're starting a podcast, and everybody's like, fuck yeah, we're starting a podcast, let's go. And some days I'm like, if somebody brings up the podcast today, I don't want to hear about it. That's too much pressure. You know? So like, I know myself now. I've done enough looking in that I'm like, okay, so when I feel good, I need to prepare for the days that I feel bad. So I know this has been a huge tangent, but those are the 5 things. 4 or 5 things. Why are you doing this, man? Why? Look at this. Can you guys see this? He's standing on my shelf, looking at my 3D prints and sneezing on them. What are you doing, my man? Stop it, please. Please. Everything I own is full of snot. Sometimes I feel like that. Okay, let's do some the wrinkles now. So I'm gonna use the same brush I have been using, the Stylized Dam Standard that I made. And let's look at some wrinkles here. This is a really good reference. Who made this? Hossein Diba, of course. I would consider him to be one of the masters of like human heads. Master of human heads. So the first thing I have to say about the eye area, this is, by the way, not my work. This is my mentee's work. You can find them at SS3D Designs. So the thing about the eye area is that when I look at it, I don't necessarily see, I don't necessarily see wrinkles. I see clear brush strokes. So how do we break this up so that they start to feel more organic and real? Okay. So let's try it out together. So we're going to get some of that zigzag in, maybe some of that fat in between, like not fat, but like hanging, Que bom que ele esteja respeitando esses dias mais difíceis. Espero que você não fique incomodada comigo escrevendo em português. Prefiro faça escrever em português. Em inglês, meu Deus. Não importa. Eu sempre faço as duas línguas ao mesmo tempo. É uma das minhas especialidades. We want to stop and make a completely different thing. Some days, yeah. So I'm going to start by kind of like highlighting where the tear line is going to be. Let me turn this up actually. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna need more lazy mouse in my life. So let me open up the question to you. What do you guys do so that you don't quit on the hard days? Hi, Ian. How you doing, my friend? Ian, what do you do on the days that are hard, that you feel like quitting? You've walked into a very nice, not at all depressing conversation. So I'm coming in here and I'm just kind of making sure that my lines are not too continuous. Like we want a little bit of breakup in those lines. You go boxing? That's badass. That's pretty good. There's something to be said about getting your mind off of things, So I'm making sure that the line isn't too continuous. Sometimes I break it up by like letting my hand kind of like slip off of it, so to speak. Quitting on the hard days, be stubborn. The trick to success is to just open up your heart and just fill it with spite and just do it out of spite. Honestly, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm all love and light nowadays, but spite literally got me through the first like 4 or 5 years of my career. I legit sometimes am grateful that I made so many enemies in college that they kept me going. Because I would think like, I can't give him the satisfaction of being right about me. So when I was in college, this one guy, this is gonna get a little dark. Rudy, thank you so much for the sub, or for gifting the sub. Oh, not just any sub, to the one and only original artist of this piece. So, this one person tried to take advantage of me, right? He wanted to date me in exchange for a good word at the company that he worked at. Okay, so he was dangling that opportunity in exchange for something. Okay, already pretty awful. All right. Well, that went downhill. Obviously, it was already pretty downhill, right, at the beginning. That went downhill really fast, and he told me to my face, "Without me, you're never gonna make it in this industry." He was trying to obviously manipulate me. He was trying to wear down my self-esteem so that I would give in, This is like a serious topic. Like, this is like full-on harassment, And he said, "Without me, you're not getting anywhere. You need me. Really think about what you're doing." And I was basically like, in my head, for a second, I'm like, I believe him. I'm like, ugh, is it true? Like, I'm not going to get anywhere. Anyway, for like 4 years after that, every time I thought about giving up or taking the easy way out, not practicing, I would remember those words. You're not going to make it without me. And I would go, oh, I'm definitely going to make it without you. And I'm going to make it farther than you ever have. And one day, you're going to brag to people that you used to know me. And then I would just get back to work. And I would work harder. And I would push, and I was just like, like, this man is never going to get, I mean, he got away with it, but he's never going to get away with, like, pushing me down. Like, in my soul, he's not going to get away with it. So for like 4-5 years, that was like my main fuel. It was like, I will not stop because I have revenge to get. And you guys know the best revenge is your own success, right? Thank you guys for the sympathy in chats. Yeah. It's actually not uncommon, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, this is just like being a woman in this industry, Male dominated, you're vulnerable. I have thousands of ghost stories, when it comes to this stuff. But I swear, like, that was such a good thing, like, for me in the long run, if I really pushed. I pushed so hard, and I pushed on the days that I didn't want to do, because I didn't want him to be right. He wasn't allowed to be right. That was not gonna be, that was not gonna sit well with me if he was right. That just saddens me to my core. It makes me hate being a male in this world. Well, I mean, like, it's not about the masculine gender, right? Like, it's about shitty people doing crappy things. It happens all the time with everywhere. And the thing is that, like, I'm acutely aware of power dynamics now because of it, Like, he was in the power dynamic. He had a prominent art job at the only company that, like, I had a chance at, he theoretically, like, if he was serious, he maybe could have gotten me in, but instead he guys, the story I'm telling you is, like, not even half of it. Because, like, he did try to blacklist me after that and all that stuff, but, like, who cares if this one random guy tries to blacklist you? Like, just make yourself not blacklistable, be fucking great, be that person, be professional, be punctual, build a reputation in a good way, right? And now he has a shitty reputation, right? Because, like, all of the women in that town don't like him, don't trust him. We don't put in good words. He was, like, unemployed for like 2 years. Nobody helped him, I don't know. You would have got knocked out. At that time, I had no power to, like, retaliate in any way, Okay, I don't like what I just did. Undo. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more organic. Like, I'm not trying to rework. I'm trying to, like, still respect what's already there, as far as the wrinkles go. I'm just trying to, like, kind of soften them up a little. Beyonce, You Can't Break My Soul happens to be playing. How old were you when you got into the industry? So I started college when I was 17, almost 18, and I got into the industry. I got my first job after I got my first full-time job at 21. I got into college at 17. In college, I did some minor works and internships. Best crit ever, by the way. I'm glad I already gave you a crit this week, because like this one's more of a crit / lifetime discussions. You know. But now, guys, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I no longer operate on a spite-fueled engine, so to speak. Like, I really don't. Like, I've worked on myself a lot. And I've read a lot. I've read a lot, you know. I've started to learn that if I can be more positive, embrace the positive, you know, focus less on the negative, that things happen easier and better, you know. This is the tell-all section of the book. I definitely prefer this to some other crits I have received from professionals. Well, thanks. I'm glad. We keep learning that bother with those ones that don't care about us isn't worth it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a really tough thing. Like, I still haven't understood or perfected the line between giving somebody a second chance and cutting them out. And I think it's a matter of opinion, right? Like, I'm very fast right now to cut people out completely, you know, 0 tolerance. Nobody important, of course. I wouldn't cut out my family, for example. But I'm just really low tolerance for anything that detracts from my energy right now. Like I was saying before, my energy is so fragile a lot of times. You know, like one day I feel good, one day I feel bad. So if I feel good one day and somebody says something to me that upsets me, then I take that very personally. Whereas my mother believes that, especially in a professional setting, you always have to give people second chances, make up with them, and pretend that nothing's wrong. I don't know. That one's still one I'm working on. I'll store morph target real fast. I have an idea for these wrinkles. Sean, seriously though, your humility as a mentor is so refreshing. Have you studied under other reputable professional teachers? They built up the clout to have an ego, but it doesn't translate well when teaching. Thanks. I don't know. I can sometimes say some pretty egotistical things, but all in all, try not to. So I'm going to use the morph target brush now that I've started morph target, and I'm going to make it nice and soft nice and low intensity. And I'm going to soften out the transition of these wrinkles. Okay, I think I made it too low because I don't see any difference. Okay. And I'm just going to like soften out the ends and then kind of like come in here and tighten up the sides too. And I'm just going to kind of round out this cheekbone area just a little bit. Which is good sometimes, especially when sharing how they negotiate contracts and find work. Not saying it's a bad thing to have well-earned ego. It just goes back to treating other people well and not being blinded to other people's lived experiences. Good call. And a little morph target again. Just kind of soften that up a little. I hate wrinkles that have a hard stop and start, so just use these kinds of tricks to soften out the ending of the line. IR says, I used to be someone who would let someone walk all over me if I thought for a second that they cared even just a little. Now walls go up so fast. Are you intentionally intersecting the wrinkles? Yes. I just didn't want them to be too straight. So I'm definitely intersecting them, making more V's and Y's as well. Or V's, X, Y's, and Z's. I'm doing hand motions as if it meant anything. The walls have to go up fast. Like, I don't know if anybody here can relate to this, but ever since COVID happened, you know, and people stopped being around me as much, it's like I was able to flourish much more. Here's before and after for you to kind of check. I started flourishing much more, and you know, saying all people are bad is just sometimes the drama, man. Like, I really don't like drama right now. Like, sure, I like a little gossip sometimes, but I don't want to go places and feel like I'm moments away from getting upset, you know. Sometimes I just avoid places altogether. Okay, so now that we've done kind of all the areas that I had pointed out, actually let's fill this out a little bit. See how it's like very, very deep? It's almost like a huge hole right here. Looks like my thumb. Let's go ahead and take that down a little. I'm just going to grab my special clay buildup brush. A little smooth and a little fill. Is the Herman Miller chair a must? Well, I have a horrible chair, so in my opinion, any non-horrible chair is a must. I've been thinking about getting a Herman Miller for a while, but it's just so expensive. It's an investment, you know, and I'm not sure about it. And I feel like if I'm gonna buy like $1,000 chair, I should be sure about it. You know, I can't say it's a must. There's probably a lot of good ones out there that aren't as expensive. But definitely a good chair. Don't be like me. Suffering with a horrible chair. I'm gonna stick with lawn chairs for now. If only I would stop breaking them. Do people party at conferences? Yes, people party at conferences. I actually very much like partying at conferences. My chair sucks. We're all out here just suffering quietly. Suffering quietly into the nights. My cheeks don't deserve a Herman Miller chair yet. GDC. Some people argue that developers party too much at conventions. Just kind of deepening that gap here. Get a nice little curve. You're suffering about life. Cheers. Yeah, I've heard the horror stories. What are the horror stories? I went to GDC this year. It was a big COVID hotspot. I didn't get COVID this year. Nobody I knew got COVID this year. So let's talk pores then. Now that I'm gonna stream a little longer today because I'm enjoying this conversation, and also because I don't have to teach tomorrow. And it might be the last time you guys see me streaming today, this week. I'm gonna grab some of the brushes I've made in the past for this exact purpose. I can find them. Ian, is there a way to load up multiple brushes at the same time? Because like whenever I try to grab multiple, it just loads up whatever the first one was. It's annoying. Somehow I've avoided COVID so far. Oh, dang. I got the flu that felt like COVID, but I tested negative, but who knows? No, sadly there isn't. Okay. Something to add in the future. I can't remember off the top of my head, but essentially dudes getting too drunk and pressuring women by dangling that career carrot or threatening them with blacklisting. And that's a little relatable. So let's see what brush I want to use first. So I want to use this one with the dots. See, I made this like special high ultra special, I don't know, dot brush like this that just kind of creates lumps and bumps all over the skin to kind of like break it up with like imperfection before we even get started with the detailing at all, you know, the pores themselves. So especially for like something like Frankenstein, like it can really help to like really just break up that skin, you know. And I've already done some skin breakups, so this just kind of takes it a little step further, you know, and it's gonna almost disappear underneath the pores. The closer you are to the center, the more you will want symmetry to be turned off. A little bit down here as well. Little bit. I don't know what to do about that whole dangling the carrot at GDC parties thing. You know, like, because we can really only focus on what we can control. So people kind of in the industry are pushing for like a ban of all alcohol, right? But why are we kidding ourselves and saying that without alcohol people are still gonna behave themselves, right? So um so all we can do really, like in my opinion, is educate ourselves on how to react to that situation. Nick G 3D, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Like in the beginning, you know, I felt really unempowered. Therefore, I didn't feel like I could walk away from a situation like that. But actually, walking away wouldn't have hurt at all. You know, it's all talk. So if we can, you know, teach ourselves like, hey, you know, we're not going to take it, then maybe it'll be nice and better, you know. I'm going to make one new layer for each one of these types of brushes. I think I'm going to try to use the spray with this one. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, not bad. Got that skin vibes, sort of. Use the XMD brush toolkit. I'm going to be honest with you, Ian. I don't use anything. Like, my Zbrush is vanilla. Like, I have no plugins, no nothing. I'm just kind of brushing those on. Trying to like not go over the same area twice, but making sure that we also don't have any like bald spots. I have a lot to say on the subject, but I might save it for a stream night. AM Rudy, bye bye. Thank you so much for coming. I think you're the only person I know who rocks full vanilla ZBrush. Do what I can with what developers give me. I always had that philosophy that like I had to use vanilla ZBrush if I was gonna like teach people how to use it, you know. I think my only exception is like brushes. Like if I made a brush, I'll use it. If it's a free brush, I'll promote it. Maybe find a good paid one too. This is just kind of going everywhere to like start that skin vibes. Maybe not the lips, of course. And just making it like bigger on the areas that I think should have bigger breakup. Next, my special star pores. These guys. These really, you gotta be careful with them. We're gonna go mostly on the kind of upper cheek area. I guess not upper cheek. I do the same, but then I'm like, oh look, Pablo made the exact brush I need. Pablo, man, like, how does he do it? I don't know. How does one do as much as he does? One time I asked him what his secret was, and he said it was insomnia. Try to not like lay them down in too much of a repetitive pattern, because otherwise you're going to see the pattern. They're making it a little strong now. It's okay. We'll just turn it down later. Yeah, more targets will really come in handy to like soften some areas of this. So I'm just kind of like laying down a blanket. And I also do the opposite, like I invert the brush and I go in here with the opposite. Because we got that like chicken skin, you know, that goes in that area a little bit. And then I also like inverting it on the nose. Especially on the tip. I should make a special brush for these like outgoing pores, but I haven't yet. So I just use this one, it works. Closer you are to the center, the more you want to take off your symmetry. I really look up to Pablo. I wish I knew more secrets. How does one produce so much? You know? All good questions. He does it all with so much love too. Like, there's this word in Portuguese. 6 easy payments. Thank you so much for the follow. There's this word in Portuguese, capricho. Those of you here who are Portuguese speakers know what I'm talking about. Capricho. So, it basically means to do something with care, love, like carefully, you know, to do something well, like in a very nice way. Right? There's no translation for that word in English. I've looked multiple times, and there is no capricho in English. And he does a lot, but he does it with capricho, you know, which makes it him even more high level, in my opinion, because that's not easy to do so much like that. Like, I do a lot too, but I rock what I like to call the MVP. You know? Not gusto. You know, with the MVP is the minimum viable product. So I'm just kind of using my morph brush to kind of like soften away some of the pore areas that don't need to be as strong as the others. There's this one brush that I had made when I taught my skin workshop, but I don't think I ever saved it. It's like, it's like this Voronoi noise brush. We can just make it again. I think it's easy. If I'm not mistaken, I remember it being hard. So I'll take a plain 3D like so. Okay. Then I would go to geometry. I'll make polymesh 3D. Surface. Surface noise. I don't remember where I can get Voronoi noise from. Give me a second. My brain will eventually... oh, noise plug. Then I go to Voronoi. Times. No, just normal Voronoi. Okay. So, noise scale to 0-ish. No, I think higher is better. Then strength. Like so. And then I like to make it nice and like stretchy like this. Okay. Apply to mesh. Oh, I should probably have divided that up a little bit. So let's go ahead and apply it to mesh now. Rhythmical 93, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Then I guess I'll just grab like one of these extractor brushes. And who else followed? Old Sancho, thank you so much for the follow. Let's pull it down. Something like this. And then I just kind of come in here. And I'm going to add a new layer. And then I like to use that kind of noise over the wrinkles areas. And create some directionality in the skin. It's a cute little song, I guess. And that also helps break up like the organicness of those wrinkles, you know? If they are a little bit too, what do you call it, like perfect, you know, this goes a long way to like change it up a little. And it's in its own special layer too, so if it's too much, we can turn it down. I'm gonna kind of run over this area in a directional way to create some flow in those wrinkles. Oh, symmetry's off again. Ah, sigh. I just did the other side. A little bit of like a back and forth too. Don't make it too perfect. I think the pores layer might be a little strong. I'm already starting to think about dinner. I love that brush, OMG. I taught you how to make this brush. I have a very clear memory of that. Well, I mean, I just did it again, so. Now it's forever immortalized within this stream's VOD. This goes a long way for like different skin needs, you know? And it mixes well with like skin that's already been kind of slightly textured before. It's your boy, Skinny Pete. Thank you so much for the follow. Skinny pizza. And even like the wrinkles on the eyes can benefit from a little bit of this. Break up. And don't forget, anything you do in layers, you can just morph target away. What software are you using? Zbrush. This one's just called Zbrush. Oh, I did something wrong here. I think I inverted the brush on accident. This one quite looked the same. Yeah. Oh, I can just turn on Z sub, I guess. And it's all about flow. Okay, so you just kind of establish where you want the skin to go, and you just kind of reinforce that. And get some horizontal lines along the nose. And lines kind of highlighting the nostril. This way. I think I'm going to break it up further using my special dot brush. And like so. Dots everywhere. Dots dots everywhere. Mentorship program? What are you talking about? You guys still watching my stream? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to follow me on social media. Join my Discord server. And everything else. And then I'm going to use the one with the squares on it. This one, just a little bit more. Just like really make some of the areas like it got really rough. I don't want to run over it too much. Just kind of straight line is good. And I think I'm going to do like a little bit of, I'm going to bring the pores back a little bit more because I think I got rid of them too much now. Going back and forth. And then I'm going to make the one final layer and I'm just going to do like normal pores everywhere. Maybe I'll even spray. No, I'm gonna do normal. Drag dot. Drag rect, I mean. I'm gonna do it like this. I can't decide if I want them in or out. I can't quite tell from the reference. So I'm just gonna do it in, and then of course, I just invert the layer. Is this your zero mesh model or is it still under Dynamesh mode? So it's under zero mesh model. Sean made sure to zero mesh it. Even though we might need to do it again because of the ear pinch problem. Go all the way in the nostril. And then I'm going to take down that layer and perhaps even turn it upside down. Let's see. Oh, hopefully Zbrush doesn't crash. No, definitely. Just take it down. He's Zbrush from 16 million to 14 million? That's improvement. Let's go back to the original and turn on the pores again. For comparison. Okay. So, kind of got less layers of pores, right? Like we kind of have some open spots. So definitely pushing it a little bit further, doing more skin breakup goes a long, long way. The ear needs to be a little softer, like so. Love a satisfying back and forth. Do you have any good Scar references? For the longest time, like I used to really have a difficult time with detailing stuff, and then I realized that it's all about having the right tools. To be honest, there's no other trick than that. As far as like there's tons of tricks actually. That's a lie, but that was the main thing that I was missing for such a long time. I'm gonna kind of reinforce some of the wrinkles with them standard 2 brush. Pablo has a brush for that. Turn it up a little. They're a cat guy person. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. This brush, I don't know exactly who makes it, but if you search for Dem Standard 2, it's free online, and it's it's basically a sharper Dem Standard. Hey, let's look into the reference. Yeah, they're like prosthetics. Oh yeah, thank you, and I forgot about that brush. Nice. It's a good one. Good one to really get in there. I think I'm going a little too crazy, but turn down the layer. That's the beauty of layers. So for this one, I'm doing like long curved strokes whenever possible that kind of go with the flow that's already been established. I think that's one of the most important things is like respect the flow that's already been established whenever possible. Just going to turn down that layer a little bit. I should do the forehead actually. Just a little bit. By the way, this is not what mentorship critiques are usually like. I just wanted to kind of like sculpt on it and comment today. Like normally the critiques are more like a normal formal critique, you know? I like that before and after. I might turn that into a GIF. Post it on Twitter if you don't mind, Sean. Yeah. Let me know if you want me to tag you and stuff. I love making a good GIF for Twitter. By the way, I think I have my bot set so that it deletes links. I'm sorry. The thing is that it automatically deletes links. Thing is that like there's only ever a good opportunity for somebody to actually send a helpful link, like now, like every 6 months or something, and then the rest of the time it's links that are very bad, you know. Here, I'll just find it for you guys. Are you talking about the domain standard too, right? I'll post the link. There's also a way to get the bot to like temporarily allow one person to post one link, but frankly, I have no idea how to do that. Oh, and an education license for Zbrush. I don't know where to find that one exactly. Let's see. Zbrush education. Is this one good? I think so, right? It's gotta be the right one. Thank you, Odon, for helping me. Hey, Julian. How are you doing today? Okay, I think that's it for today. I think I might go have a snack. You guys know how I get. Gotta have a little snack sometimes, you know? Oh, that song like scared me for a second. Alrighty, everybody. What kind of noises used on the skin? So it's a bunch of brushes I made. Right now they're not available to the public, but I've been thinking about putting them on Gumroad for like 50 cents or something. So stay tuned. Okay. Guys, have a great rest of your day. Hope you enjoy the stream. Tell all stream. It was a different one, right? But it was nice. Please stay just 3 more hours. Thank you so much for featuring my piece today. And thank you for letting me feature your piece. It's an honor and I appreciate that. Thank you. When's the next stream? Next Sunday. So right now I'm streaming every Sunday. Okay. Same time. So I do 5 p.m. on the Zbrush Live channel and 7 p.m. Eastern here. I'll see you all later. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Nailed it. Let's wait. Where's the right one? Okay, this particular stream wasn't sponsored by Wacom, but I still like them, so it's okay. There you go. That's the perfect one. Bye, guys.